Okay, so I have a few announcements to make. First of all, I made a new VOD channel, which hold on, let me try typing it again. Actually, I'll just use a YouTube link. Okay, so today we're going to cover because I made a new channel for my past streams because unfortunately YouTube's bitrate has kept dropping and be I would not and I feel like important stuff on my stream is getting cut out by YouTube due to bandwidth reasons. So I made a new VOD channel, which goes to today's topic. Today is or tomorrow, depending on where you live, is going to be Windows 10's 10th anniversary, and I'm kind of bitter that Windows 11 was an absolute mess, honestly, to put nicely. So, if you're wondering why I'm using a capture card, it's because I have also configured my Linux setup to use KVM. It's one of the best things about Linux. You could just isolate Windows and then you can use Linux and stuff, so you can avoid stuff from Adobe or Microsoft. Ultimately, though, we're gonna start the VM. I think it was. What's this device? Oh no, that's actually a capture card. So now we're just gonna wait for it to start up. It says it's booted, but I don't. Oh, I do see something. Um. Oh yeah, we got disconnected again. Which only solidifies my reason for using a VOD. Because if it's because I think it's definitely YouTube's um bitrate. Because everyone has been experiencing this, not just me. So or maybe it's because I start up Windows 10 and stuff. So here's my Windows 10 setup for KVM. This is not my main Windows 10 installation. And yes, I backed it up before I started using Linux. So you have a lot of things. It's the LTSC build. So if we go to okay, let me see. If we go to this version here, I'll actually make it a little bit wider because of a little bit larger. First of all, because let's see. It says it mirrors 1 and 2, but we want to change the size to 125%. So it's gonna be easier for mobile users to see. So here is the Windows version. It says Microsoft Windows version 21H2, and I had to use this because unfortunately, Microsoft um is probably going to force upgrade, but from Windows 8 to Windows 10 to Windows 11, and yeah, we'll see what's different from the commercial version. No Microsoft Store, and I also installed open source applications and all that stuff. I do have another gaming VM for Windows 11, but that's for another day. Now I just checked the volume on both sides. Oh wait, I forgot to turn on the volume for Windows. Actually, let's change the device. I'll keep it at 60%. So, actually, I need to blank out the display first because there's something I'd like to cover, with, in regards to Windows 11 and why I switched to EndeavourOS. Actually, I need to go back here, and we're going to open up, Supermium, which is a fork of Google Chrome. I have a second keyboard connected, so let's just go there and, open up ChatGPT, sign in if need be, because, yeah, I'm grateful that I'm actually, I'm not sure what happened, but the login process failed because of, okay, it succeeded this time. So now I have to go to, go generate the list. Now I will mention, I will mention a lot of this stuff, I already also shared this chat with ChatGPT as well, so it's in the link below. So, okay, why Windows 10's end of life is driving users to Linux instead of Windows 11? First, around 240 million Windows 10 PCs globally are unable to run Windows 11 due to Microsoft's stricter system requirements. TPM version 2, UEFI with Secure Boot, newer Intel and AMD CPUs, and minimum RAM and storage specs, as per Tom's Hardware and 11 other sources. How ironic that, or maybe 12. Yeah, because while unofficial bypasses hacks exist, users install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware, waive update support, and potentially void any warranty. This is not the Microsoft you grew up with. It has become an exploitative corporation, among other exploitative corporations, that deflects any of their wrongdoings on their users, while they virtue signal about environmentalism when they want to make the largest e-waste dump in 20 years. So, cost effective and environmentally friendly. So, installing a free open source Linux distro avoids the expense of buying a new Windows 11 ready PC. Tom's Hardware plus 15 sources. And preserving old hardware helps reduce e-waste and greenhouse gas emissions, one of the core goals behind the End of 10 advocacy initiative. Tom's Hardware and four other sources say that privacy control and blow concerns. Most distributions typically run without ads, telemetry, or forced updates, appealing to users frustrated by Windows 11's increased data collection and Microsoft-centric ecosystem. And just so you know, someone at Tom's Hardware said this. He ditched Windows Sport Ubuntu. Well, in my personal view, Ubuntu is still too much telemetry for 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 my personal use. So I recommend Fedora or EndeavourOS. I do not recommend Manjaro either. Manjaro keeps saying that, oh, but we're Arch but easier, when they just borrow packages from Arch Linux and then break systems over something that wouldn't break a system in Arch Linux or EndeavourOS. So many users see Linux as offering greater transparency and user agency, free from intrusive Microsoft integrations. So yeah, LifeWire said that. Windows 10 still serves well for now. Windows 10 remains fully functional and popular, even as support winds down on October 14th, 2025. Microsoft offers an extended security updates program, allowing continued support through October 2026, though it comes with a modest cost or a requirement to sync via Microsoft accounts. That's and 4 sources plus Tech Radar, Tom's Hardware, and 9 other sources. Now, just so you know, I will bring up I'll bring up the EOLs for Windows XP and Windows 7. So let's open up Windows XP. Um, Windows XP is released on August 24th, 2001. RTM, and later to retail on October 25th, 2001. Um, so as a result, I do have a stream planned for October 24th, 2026, or 25th, 2026. And let's see. Mainstream support ended April 14th, 2009. Extended support ended on April 8th, 2014. Now, this is how long Windows XP was supported. They supported for 13 years. It's all 13 years almost. But, they had the longest support cycle of any Windows operating system. Now let's go to Windows 7. Which I am building a Windows 7 machine. Windows 7 had the worst mainstream supported. Mainstream and extended support. Mainstream support ended on January 13th, 2015, so that's only 5 years. Extended support ended on January 14th, 2020. How convenient! 2 months before COVID-19, and they discontinued Windows 7, even as they know what was coming. So you have ESU and up until 2023. That was a total sham compared to Windows XP. And now let's do Windows 10, which is going to be EOL soon. Okay, so general availability was almost 10 years ago, and sometimes it was already 10 years ago. And and it says support until October 14th, 2025. You have a note here, and life cycle, enterprise edition. Yeah, also have paid extended security updates. Okay, I need to ask Microsoft a hard question. Why didn't you have free extended support like you did with Windows 7 and Windows XP? Why? We are in the middle of a cost of living crisis, and you're telling everyone to throw away their PCs and buy a new Windows 11 PC just to enslave them, okay? So, yeah. What a scummy move by Microsoft, honestly. A horrible move. Okay, with that being said, business migration is complicated. Upgrade enterprise fleets to Windows 11 is expensive, with around 62% to 76% of workstations requiring hardware upgrades or replacements. This raises migration costs, downtime, and compatibility headaches. Even last week, too. For many, Linux offers a stable, cheaper alternative, especially non-Windows critical workloads or older hardware. Now, I did mention on the previous stream that with how corporate life is starting to enslave you through rootkits, keyloggers, webcams, microphones, as well as eye tracker software, as well as Ring 0 access to the kernel, and the fact that I had to take an in-person exam with a Ring 0 web browser back in December 2024. It's absolutely horrible, honestly. And I swore to myself that after seeing that man in the bullet train waiting room in Tokyo, I was like, I will not subject myself to a cubicle. Never. will I work in a cubicle, and never will I work for a corporation. Oh look, it's a Windows update. Better performance on older machines. um, Linux generally runs more efficiently on older or resource-limited hardware, extended useful lifespans of PCs that still struggle with Windows 11. I can vouch for that. I, Even on high-end machines, Linux starts faster and all that stuff. And then now there's the growing per Wikipedia. Desktop has matured according to two sources. There's user-friendly distros like Ubuntu, EndeavourOS, Mint, KDE, Kubuntu. Have a lot of stuff. There's also Operaries in development to streamline migration from Windows 10 to Kubuntu, carrying over files and settings to mimic a click-to-upgrade experience. And there's still remaining hurdles to adoption. There's lack of native support for Microsoft Office, Adobe applications, and some Windows games, especially those that rely on kernel-level anti-cheat mechanisms. I call them rootkits, honestly. And Linux distribution choices and hardware driver support can still overwhelm less technical users. And a looming secure boot issue. A Microsoft signed key used by many distros expires in September 2025, could hinder compatibility unless firmware updates or manual fixes are applied. Wow. What a way to literally North Korea your users from switching to Linux. So that's basically my frustrations with Windows 11, with how Microsoft's handling Windows 10. Now we're gonna look at HWinfo 64. Now we won't look at that, sadly. But we do have a stripped down version of Windows, and you cannot and this is the last version that allows you to shut down without updating. So that's basically it. Let's open up Supermium one more time and play a YouTube video. Okay, this is my channel. This is my live stream, and we're going to play some some music video containing music like this one. Oh, actually, excuse the thing on the right. I don't endorse it, honestly. I should use an incognito tab, but whatever. Yeah. You can have this playing here, or you can just put it on this window like here while you open up LibreOffice, because I'm done with Microsoft Office. So greedy. Those people at Microsoft. And we can write a document and or even download a document from Google Drive, but I won't be exposing my drive, honestly. And we're gonna type in some stuff like and actually that's enough music for now. So we could type stuff like hello world, and you could save it as ODF or even Office Word 2010 to 365 document. And we'll use this format, and when I do transfer it to Microsoft Word, I'll be ready. But now let's look at the task manager. So we have 8 cores, 4 cores and 8 threads allocated to my Windows 10 virtual machine. So that basically puts it in Ryzen 3 class performance, because I have the other 4 cores and 8 threads for Linux. Now I go to the memory, and there is 11.5 gigabytes of memory plus 10.6 cached memory. We're using about 28% of memory using Windows 10. And excuse for the hard drive, but actually this QEMU hard disk is supposed to be an SSD, but Windows read it as a hard drive. Ethernet, it still doesn't say anything. And for NVIDIA or 3060, we can look at more details. It is using PCI version bus 3, DirectX 12, driver version 32, and we have a GPU temperature of 53 degrees Celsius and dedicated, so we have a total GPU memory of 20 gigabytes. So, that's basically Windows 10's an overview of how basic Windows 10 is. You can also go personalized. You can change your picture. You can change which colors you like. You can change the lock screen. You can change themes, fonts, start menu, taskbar. I even have language support for Japanese too, so yeah, I think that's it for today's stream because quite frankly, I cannot really I had a very hard night last night. I won't go into the details, but I'm in the middle of a huge life shift, so I'll see you then.